Good morning, my dear students. I welcome you to the National University online class. During this pandemic, I feel proud to be the part of this National University online class lecture as a resource person. Please maintain the health rules. Our subject is English. This program is for the honors first year students, course code 211101. And course name is English Reading Skills. Today's lecture number 9, and title of the lecture is Author's Style, Tone and Mood. And here I am Khandokar Mushir Rahman, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Gaivanda Government College, Gaivanda. So I hope you all are fine today, and by this time you have attended the other lectures. Especially the last lecture was very important, last two lectures, 7th and 8th. And that means important literary terms and literary genres. So look at today's topic. Recapping as usually, checking the previous home task, author's style and mood, tone and mood, and the class will be ended up with home task. So have you, if you have attended the last lecture, lecture number 8, try to recall what we discussed in that lecture. Already have told you the important literary genres we talked about, what is literature, what is genre, function of genre, and different type of genres like poetry, drama, fiction, non-fiction, prose, we talked about. Can you remember now? I think you can remember those topics that we talked about. Have you done your homework by this time? How many? How many literary genres you have learned? Have you learned what is sonnet, features of sonnet, lyric and its features? Those are very important because you have to evaluate a poem as a sonnet or lyric in part C. That's why you must learn those features, literary terms with their features, especially lyric and sonnet. Okay, if you have done the homework, welcome. If you have not done by this time, you must do that homework. Without doing the homework, the class will not benefit you actually. So what is the style? Do you have any idea what is the style? You know style. We make different type of style. Hair is style, dress is style. So this is actually style of authors, is it? Author's style means writing style. So what is it? Look at the definition. The style in writing can be defined as the way a writer writes. So this is writer's pattern of a writer of writing. It is the technique that an individual author uses in his writing. It varies from author to author and depends upon one's syntax, word choice, and tone. It can also be described as a voice that readers listen to when they read the work of a writer. So, how a writer is different from another writer? Because of his or her style, and the style depends on sentence structure, word choice, and tone. When you read several books by the same author, you become accustomed to the author's style of writing, and sometimes you look for authors with a similar style. What does it mean? It means that if you read several books or some books of the same author, then you develop a liking or disliking about the author. Especially after reading some books of the same author, you grow a liking for that author, and you look for that type of books later on for your reading. So it depends on actually style. So you see, style, we like the style. We readers are also divided according to the style, according to our liking of the style, what type of book we like. Some like Humayun Ahmed, some like Humayun Azad, and some readers like, for example, Jafar Iqbal. So you see, different types of readers are there because we like different types of writing. Now, author's style is the way he or she uses words to make ideas come alive on the page. What does it mean? It means that the author uses some techniques to make his or her ideas alive, lively, attractive, acceptable, easily acceptable to the reader. So what are the techniques here? Author's style techniques include word choice, dialogue, tone, mood, sensory language. Sometimes writers use dialogue, and writers use different type of tones and mood in their writing. And some writers also censor language. For example, John Keats is famous for sensuousness, for his sensuousness. We call him a sensuous poet because he has used a lot of sensory words in his poems, especially on Ode to Autumn. If you read Ode to Autumn, you will find the use of censored language over there. Now, when analyzing an author's style, we need to consider these things. Point of view, from which point of view is he or she is writing. First point of view, first person, third person, second person point of view. That is the thing. Is it formal or informal writing? Organization, I mean structure of text, a level of complexity in the writing, how complex it is or how simple it is, I mean diction, choice of words, and overall tone. By using these features in writing, different meanings of the content, what the story or text is about, are shown to the audience. So the message of the text are represented through using these techniques, using these items of style. Point of view, is it formal or informal? Sentence structure, I mean complex or simple, and tone. What is the tone? Is it sad or happy tone? Like that. Mood is there also. Now, author's style, word choice, and sentence length. Author can use formal or informal words. For example, informal, you see, Jason's friends dissed him. Formal language, Jason's friends ignored him. Have you got the difference? Here, dissed is an informal word that is used among friends. I mean, casual words. It's not formal, but formal word is ignored. The word means ignored. Jason's friends dissed him means Jason's friends ignored him, neglected him. So this is formal. Sentence lengths can vary, for example, from writer to writer, author to author. Some authors are using, I mean, informal words in their writing. Sometimes the writer is using formal, very formal, depending on their choice. Sentence lengths can vary. For example, you see, someone may write simple sentences, someone may write, I mean, complex, compound, other types of sentences. For example, Janice went to the store, she bought a scarf. It's two separate sentences here. But another one is writing, Janice went to the department store where she bought a woolen scarf. So you see, this is complex sentence. So writers also change their writing style time to time. Even this sentence structure also differs from topic to topic and writer to writer. Same writer may use different type of sentence structures in different writing, different text. And of course, different writers use different sentence structure usually. Style, which point of view that we need to consider when we are analyzing the text? From which point of view the story is written? Is it first person point of view? That is I, me, my, these are the words are there. For example, I went to the store today. When I was in the cereal aisle, I bumped into an old friend and had a nice conversation. So this is first person point of view. Example. Second person point of view. You, instructions, directions, that would be there. So look at the second person point of view style. You should work on getting your room clean. So you see, this is instructions or directions. You should work on getting your room cleaned. First, pick up the clothes on the floor. Then you need to run a vacuum and dust the tables. So giving instructions. This is second person point of view. What is third person point of view? It's limited, like he, she, it, they, them, told, through. Okay, one character is there. Third person point of view. He could tell from the expression on her face that what he had said upset her. If only he knew, though, what she was really thinking. So this description is third person point of view. So is the third person point of view? He, she, third person is there, and only one character is speaking. One character is here. He could tell from the expression on her face. So one person is narrating that what he had said upset her. If only he knew, though what she was really thinking. So one person is narrating, describing a story. So this is third person point of view. Look at third person, omniscient. That means all knowing. Everybody knows it. He, she, it, they, them, told by the author. All characters, feelings, thoughts are revealed. So here, third person omniscient means the author is expressing all the characters, talking about all the characters writing. Look at this example of third person point of view omniscient. She refused to look at Jamie again and instead stared at the statue. Come on, exclaimed Jamie impatiently. It's time to go. Sarah ignored Jamie and continued to gaze upon the statue, wishing she too could be so still and at peace. So this is third person omniscient, I mean third person point of view, two types. One is one character, one is narrating the story. Here the author is storing all the characters. All the characters, speaking of reveal all the characters. Author himself or herself is revealing all the characters in the story. So this is third person point of view. So have you got it? So when we are analyzing when reading any text, a story or poem, we should think about the point of view, from which point of view the writer is writing, first person, second person, or third person. Clear? Now style may be formal or informal. Look at the examples of formal and informal. You know, I think by this time what is formal. Look at this example. Dear sir, after examining your job descriptions, I feel I am an excellent candidate. I have many years of experience performing these specific duties. My resume is attached. Please read it over at your convenience and contact me if you have questions. Sincerely, Andrew Meyer. So this is a formal letter, you see. Looking at the structure, so addressing is there and use of comma is here. So this is very formal writing. All sentences are full sentence. There is no use of contraction. Sincerely, the formal word is used over here and full name is written over it, Andrew Meyer. So this is actually formal writing. Informal. Hey Sarah, what's going on tonight? Call me before you guys leave, okay? Beth. So you can gaze now the difference. You can look at the difference between formal and informal here. I think, can you look at the structure and expression? Hey Sarah. So this is very informal. So when you are addressing your friend, you are hey, hi, like that. So Sarah, so addressing by name, no dear, or like that. What's going on tonight? Use of contraction. What's going on tonight? What is going on tonight? So using of contraction is a technique of informal language or informal English. Call me before you guys leave. So you look at the word guys, okay? So these are the actually conversational language, spoken language. So this is very informal. And you see Beth, no living, lift taking or nothing else, your love, nothing with best wishes, nothing is written over here. So this is very informal writing. So you can now find out the difference between formal and informal. Formal writing, all the sentences are full sentence. There is no use of contraction. And there is, I mean, all that techniques, all the, I mean, formalities should be maintained here. Dear sir, sincerely. So all formalities are maintained in formal writing. But in formal writing, there is no formalities. It's very casual and everyday language, spoken language. That is informal. Clear? I think you are now clear about formal and informal. Author's style, tone. That is very important to understand. What is tone? Tone tells what the author's attitude toward the subject is. So, what is tone? Tone tells what the author's attitude toward the subject is. Formal language creates a serious tone. Informal language creates a light-hearted tone. So if the language is very formal, we have to think the tone is serious and grave, great. Informal language creates a light-hearted tone. It may be comic, ridiculous. So informal language. Look at the example. Tarantulas lurk in hidden places in the desert. Tarantulas is what? You know, tarantulas? Tarantulas is one kind of hairy spider, large hairy spider that is usually found in desert. Tarantulas lurk in hidden places in the desert. So large hairy spider tarantulas. This is the one type of expression. Beware of creepy crawlers in the desert. So you see here, beware of creepy crawlers in the desert. Someone is making us aware, conscious about the creepy crawlers. So creepy crawlers here has used for tarantulas actually. In this writing, he or she is not uh, giving the exact direct word tarantulas, rather using a phrase creepy crawlers to describe tarantulas, to mean tarantulas. So formal and informal, there is a difference. Setting can help create tone. So setting is also important to create tone. Setting means the time and place, and where and when the event is happening or the event is taking place. Setting is very important. At what time is being described in the text and what place is described in the text. That is very important to create atmosphere, I mean to create tone and mood in the writing. If it's poem or a story, no problem. So setting is very important to create tone. Now let us see some example of tone. Tone example. If you read this small text, then you can understand. After reading this text, try to analyze the tone, what type of tone it is in this text. The girls were playing in the pond. You see, the girls were playing in the pond, splashing each other and trying to catch fish with their hands. They were having fun, but kept looking over their shoulders at the looming forest. The long grass of the field kept moving, and they sort of felt like they were being watched. About a half hour passed, and still the girls kept checking the field for movements. It seemed like a pair of dark eyes was on them. They even considered going back inside, but that would mean homework time. So they continued splashing, but with caution now. Their eyes hardly left the field. What does it mean? What type of girls are they? What they're doing? Huh? They are shirking their homework. They are spending time making fun. But looking at the dark eyes, they are now what? Afraid. But they don't like to go back to home, because if they go back to home, then there is the homework. So you see, look at the story again, try to find out the tone. The girls were playing in the pond. So look at the setting. This is a pond, splashing each other and trying to catch fish with their hands. So they are making fun. They were having fun, but kept looking over their shoulders at the looming forest. Back of them, there is a looming forest, dark, large forest. The long grass of the field kept moving, and they sort of felt like they were being watched. They thought that someone was watching them from inside the forest. About a half hour passed, and still the girls kept checking the field for movements. Still they saw there was movement in the forest, and they thought that someone was there to watch them. It seemed like a pair of dark eyes was on them. So they could see dark eyes. So you see, it's not now fun, it's now spooky. They even considered going back inside, but that would mean homework time. So they continued splashing, playing with waters, but with caution now. Their eyes hardly left the field. So they were looking back again and again, and they were playing. Look at the tone. Can you guess the tone? The tone of this passage is ominous, suggesting a little bit of fear or foreboding. Words like caution, dark, and looming lead readers to the tone. So to find out the tone, we have to look at the use of the words, diction, choice of words. These words help here to create or to find out the tone of this passage. The tone in this passage is ominous, I mean, suggesting a little bit of fear or foreboding. Words like caution, dark, and looming here help us to understand the tone of this passage. So this tone is not happy, actually. Look at that, another is tone. Example. Finally, one of the girls, the story is continuing. Now the mood, the tone is changed, you see. Finally, one of the girls pointed to the grass and giggled. Giggled means laughed, smiled, looking at the grass. Meow. So a cat sat on the edge of the field and licked its paw. So what the girl saw? The girl saw it was nothing but a cat. They were looking at two black, dark eyes. So that those eyes were just of a cat. So the girl found that and started smiling. A cat sat on the edge of the field and licked its paw. They did indeed have company. Now the girls felt relaxed and they thought that they had a companion now. The girls ran over to the cat and pat his belly. They laughed and the cat sauntered contentedly back to the field. Sauntered means moved quickly, ran away quickly from that place to the field. So what is the tone here? You can guess. The tone of this passage is happy, contentment, as there was a successful, happy resolution to the problem. So in this part of the story, the problem, they were afraid. In the first part we saw they were afraid. They thought that someone was watching them from inside the forest and they could not understand what was it. Is what what was it, a man or was it an animal? What is, they could not gaze it. So they were afraid. They are frightened a bit. So it was ominous mode or fearful mode in the first part. But in the second part, when the girls could realize, could saw the cat, so their fear relaxed, removed. No more they are afraid. So they found a company with the presence of the cat. So the tone of this passage is happy, contentment, as there was successful, happy resolution. The problem was solved. Also, words like giggled, you see the words giggled, smiling, and laughed give us clues about the tone. So to find out the tone, we have to look at the use of words, diction, choice of words of the writing. Then we have to find we can guess the tone. Is it happy tone or sad tone? Is it, fearful, or is it, tone of successful tone? So diction is very much important. Now look at author's style, mood. That is another important topic. Sometimes you're asked to describe the mood of the writer in his poem or in his story. So mood is the atmosphere or feeling that the author creates in the story. So don't mix up tone and mood. So you see, very much close, but you should not mix up. It's not same. Mood is the atmosphere or feeling that the author creates in the story. That means it is felt, it is understood, realized by the what? Readers. Atmosphere, the situation or feeling the author creates in the story. That means after reading a story, what type of atmosphere the readers find in the story, or what type of feelings they feel after reading the story. That is the mood. Look at this sentence. Maria wore a black veil to cover her tears. So this is sad mood because cover her tears. Maria wore a black veil to cover her tears. After reading this sentence, a reader can easily understand this is very sad mood. The child giggled as she danced around. So this is happy mood, of course. Giggled means smiled as she danced around. So mood also like tone, it may be sad or it may be happy. So mood is the atmosphere or situation that is created by the description of the events or stories, facts, and tone is the attitude of the writer towards its writing, towards his or her writing. Have you got it? Now look at mood example. During the holidays, my mother's house. So during the holidays, my mother's house glittered with decorations and hummed with preparations. We ate cookies and drank cider while we helped her wrap bright packages and trim the tree. We felt warm and excited listening to Christmas carols and even singing along sometimes. We tease each other about our terrible voices and then sing even louder. So this is happy mood. So Christmas Day, they are enjoying the party. So you see mood is content, happy. How do you know? Words like warm, excited, glittered, shined, lighted are used by the author. So again, the diction, I mean, words helps us to understand the mood of the text. That is important. So this is happy mood. Look at another one. After New Year's, the time came to put all the decorations away and settle in for the long, cold winter. So the Christmas is over. Now the winter is coming. Settle in for the long, cold winter. The house seemed to sigh as we boxed up its finery. The tree was dry and brittle and now waited forlornly by the side of the road to be picked up. So now this is winter season. You know, winter season is what? Winter in English, summer is very lively, attractive season for them. They like summer very much because winter is very harsh and cruel for them. Trees shades their leaves and nature becomes bare. So this mood is dreary, depressed. How do you know? Cold, sigh, brittle, forlornly. These are the words help us to understand the mood here. Cold, sigh. We feel sigh of what? Unhappiness. We take a sigh, we give a sigh to unhappiness or frustration. Brittle, forlornly, lonely. So these are the words that help us to understand the mood. Here the mood is dreary, depressed. I mean, dissatisfaction. Author's style, sensory language. So sensory language, sometimes author use sensory language. Sensory language appeals to the five senses and creates a certain style. That is also important, sensory language. Look at this sentence. The breeze tossed her golden curls around her head while the fragrant blossoms entwined in her hair quivered and bounced. So you see, tossed her golden curls, tossed the breeze, I mean the mild wind, soft wind, tossed her golden curls around her head while, so the side, golden curls, color, while the fragrant, I mean smell, scent, blossoms entwined in her hair quivered and bounced. So use of sensory language here, scent, you know the five senses, taste, touch, smells, sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell, five senses. So when the words touch our sense are that is sensory language. And the sensory language are used to make it touchy and to make it very alive and lively towards the reader. So look at this sensory language here. So I have given some examples. So sensory language, sight words. There are five senses I told you. Sight words are like that, words that make the reader see what the author sees, that is colors, movements, shapes, appearance. These are the words which explain these colors, movements, shapes, appearance. Those are called sight words. Sound words, words that make the reader hear what the author hears. That is piercing, rowdy, racket, whisper, mutter, laugh, scream, cry. These are the words that is related to hearing. Taste words, words that make the reader taste what the author tastes. That is bitter, tangy, or hot or sweet. So this is regarding taste. Smell words, words that make the reader smell what the author smells. So that is fresh, moldy, putrid, sweet. So these are the smell words, scent, regarding the scents. And touch words, words that make the reader feel what the author feels, regarding feelings, touchy. So damp, cold, fuzzy, sharp, smooth, sticky. These are the words, that indicates, touchy words. So you should identify when you are reading any text, you should look for the sensory language, sensory words, which words are related to sight and which words are related to, relevant to sounds, which are related to taste or smells or touch words. So that is a part of your, especially when you analyze any poem or poem, then you need to look for this sensory language also, especially when you are reading the poem of John Keats. He is a poet of sensuousness. He has used a lot of sensory languages, words in his poems. So that's a technical style also that differs for this style, Keats is different from many other, romantic poets. So you see, these are the things, or items that make a writer different from other writers. So have a look back. We are just at the end of the class lecture today. So today we have talked about actually author's style, and especially you need to take care about, tone, mood, and also these formal and informal. Author style may be formal and informal. So formal writing and informal writing. In formal writing, there is, formal language, decorations, formal decorations, and everything is there. No contraction, no casual words. But in informal language, there is casual words, everyday language, and spoken words, contraction is there. And there is no formalities actually. So the items that I wanted to show you, that's a point of view. That is another important part of our lecture today, point of view. From which point of view the story or poem is written, first person, second person, or third person. That is important. You should try to learn these things. And also, the things that you need to analyze when you are considering a text. When you are analyzing a poem or any text, you must know the point of view, formal or informal writing, sentence structure, and diction. It is complex or simple, and overall tone and mood. You should think about these things when you are analyzing a poem. So we have discussed all these things. If you have, I think you have understood by this time what is style, what is tone and mood, author's position and attitude. Attitude is the related very tone actually. And a position means either author is positive attitude, positive or negative position. The story, the thing, the ideas or messages the writer is giving through his or writing, is he is expressing it, or presenting it positively or negatively. That is his position. So we have talked about tone example. We have talked about mood. Mood is the atmosphere or feeling. So you should not mix up what is mood and tone. Tone is, you see, mood is the atmosphere or feeling that the author creates in the story, and tone is the poet's attitude towards the writing, towards his writing, what he's going to express. We have also talked about, we have seen the mood example also. Very depressed mood, happy mood. And we have talked about sensory language. Now it's the time to take your home task. There may be as many as styles as there are writers. So it is true actually. Each and every writer is different from other writers to some extent. It may be their choice of words, or it may be their sentence structure. Mood or tone may be different. So each and every writer is different from other writers. So there are so many styles of writing. Think about your favorite authors. If you have any favorite writing writers, so think about him. If you like any, if it may be any Bangla writer also, not only English. So if it's English, then okay. If it's Bangla writer, no problem. You think about your favorite author. Who is your favorite writer? Why do you like his or her books? Is it because of their style of writing? And if so, how would you describe their style of writing? So that is your homework. After this lecture, after attending this lecture, you will think who is your favorite writer. It may be a poet, it may be a story writer, or it may be an essayist, essay writer. Okay, so think about your favorite writer and why do you like him or her? Because of his or her style. Now you have to make comment, you have to analyze about your favorite writer's style. Write some pages about it to evaluate your favorite writer. Have you got it? I think you have understood your homework. So try to do it. If you do it, actually, if you follow these lectures and do the homeworks, only then you'll be benefited from these lectures. Otherwise not. I told you several times. And that will help you to improve your reading skills as well as writing skills also if you do this homework. And this is your analytical ability. So if you analytical ability, and if you cannot understand any text, you cannot analyze it. So you have to analyze a text from which point of view that we have tried to discuss today. You have to talk about diction, choice of words, you have to talk about tone, mood, and you have to talk about sentence structure. So try to analyze the text which you are reading. It may be a passage, it may be a paragraph, it may be a story, short story from your course, I mean prose, or it may be any poem that you are reading from your poetry course. So try to analyze it yourself and share your ideas and knowledge with your friends, I mean peers. That will develop your learning. Okay, so thank you for attending the class. Stay home, stay safe, pray for all. Have a nice time. Bye-bye.